Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm okay.
It's a good day today for me because I finished a project.
You did?
Well, It's not totally finished. I got one more coating of N3 to put on it.
How's that going? You like the N3 stuff?
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the Rubio I love Rubio. It gives you just a hair more sheen and a lot more durability.
That's nice.
It's also it's as easy as Rubio.
I feel like that's after having used Rubio for a while, I feel like it definitely is a good durable coating, but it's also, I think I'm coming to terms that it's not on its own a furniture finish.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think it depends on the piece. Like non-contact surfaces.
Well, to me, it kind of depends on the client.
Yeah, that too. I mean, like if it's like, oh, we want a dining room table, we have 3 kids. I'm like,
yeah.
Before I would have been like, Rubio, it's durable, it's made for floors. Now I'm kind of like,
if they make it a point to ask for durability,
yeah,
then Rubio's probably not it.
Yep.
If it's like, if it's a couple, they don't have kids, or empty nesters don't have kids, not as much. It seems to be only kids, or if you have a social client, like they have people over at their house a lot, they have meals that they play games and stuff. You want
the only
more.
Sales pitch I'll give to like with kids and stuff is as long as they're not like coloring out or stuff. But if it's like, hey, it's gonna, yes, it will dent or scratch if you try to, it's not a protective coat.
Yeah.
It protects moisture from getting in more than anything else. But when things happen to it, it is the easiest thing to maintain. You don't have to call anybody.
It's also nice when you first finish it, everything is really noticeable. Yeah. But the pieces I've gone back and seen way down the road, the very second table I did,
yeah,
it still looks really good. It doesn't look as if you just finished it. It's flatter than that. Yeah. It looks like just maybe an old Rubio finish.
Yeah.
But it still holds up well. It's still a good look. It still acts right. It's still moisture resistant.
Yep.
At any point, if you leave water on it overnight, it's gonna leave a ring. Like that's gonna happen. That's gonna happen with just about any finish.
I just someday, while we're working on the flying cars and infinite batteries, I want a no VOC single application furniture finish
forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is also spot treatable.
And you can drink it.
Drinkable.
Yeah.
I do want to taste Rubio. It smells so good.
I feel like it's one of those things that probably tastes like it smells. And it's a good smell, but a good smell isn't always a good taste. I love the smell of gas.
Yeah.
But it does not taste good.
I was at a farmer's market recently, and they had it's Edison Candle Company here in Huntsville. Shout out to them. They had a bunch of candles for sale at this tent they had. Mm-hmm. And they had all your usual, smelly scents and stuff. Then I saw one section called
hibiscus.
It was like man cave.
Yeah.
And normally I'm like, yeah, whatever. Let's just see. They had one that was called fresh cut grass. And I smelled it. It was pretty close. Then they had one that was like hardware store. And it smelled kind of like wood, a little bit. Then they had one that was gasoline. And man, it smelled just like gas. And I was like, I need this candle. We didn't get the candle.
Why is it so good?
They had another one called motor oil. And it was like the used motor oil smell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was my question. Is it burnt?
The most impressive one they had was called Muddy Puddle. And it smelled that fresh rain, earthy smell that I can't even, I guess that's
puddle.
Yeah, it was spot on. And I was like,
really?
I went up to the lady who was doing it.
The rain in the air, like when it just starts raining and you walk outside and that smell, or like more dirt?
More dirt.
Okay.
Earthier.
If
not,
they could
not the worm smell. Like the earthworm smell?
If they could nail the rain in the air,
that'd be nice.
When it first starts raining, you still got the dry air, but you got the rain smell in it.
I feel like they could.
I'm sure they could.
I went up to her and
I held the candle. Muddy Puddle and gasoline.
I held Muddy Puddle at her. I said, "How have you done this?" I said, "This is amazing. This is really. I'm very impressed."
Actually, really simple. That one's just mud.
Yeah, she's like, turns out you have to roll the wax in mud in a muddy puddle. You won't believe how we did the gasoline one. Why do you think it burns so well?
The gasoline scented one burns and 30 seconds,
It's gone. Yeah, the diesel one burns a little smoother. Yeah.
A little slower.
Yeah, you have to be careful when you take the cap off the gas one. You know, wait 30 seconds before you strike a match.
I guess that's probably a trendy thing is the manly smelling candles, because I've seen stuff like that online that are unique smells like leather.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't dislike candles. I'll venture to as far as say I like candles. Good ambiance, nice scent, but some of them are just so like I can't go into what is it, Bath and Body Works with all the candles and scented everything. It's overwhelming.
That's too much.
It's overwhelming.
I'm not crazy about them. My nose is not sensitive at all.
Yeah.
So if it's a candle I can smell, that means it's really loud.
Yeah.
And I'm just not crazy about that. I've also, I listen to too much health stuff.
Huh.
Not that I abide by it all.
Candles are bad for you?
But now like they put a lot of carbon in your air in your house.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, so do we.
Not as much as, it's not burning.
Yeah,
you hold
that CO2.
Hold a spoon over a candle.
I mean, not since I quit. That's since you quit that awful habit.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying. All the soot that, like, it'll cover something with soot. You just hold it right above it. That's just going into your air and into your lungs.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah,
it's okay. We just go.
I mean, I don't actually care. That's just in my head. But I don't really love candles.
I like candles. They're nice.
It was a long way to say that.
Yeah. I was just really impressed. I wasn't expecting to go to a candle tent and be impressed. So good job, Edison Candle Company, for recreating. I mean, spot on.
Have you seen the Edison Motor Company on TikTok?
Big fan.
Big fan.
They're saying, why are we making it fit? Just take the truck and just make it electric. We don't have to build a whole new, we don't have to reinvent the wheel.
And we can leave the motor on it and we can let the motor charge the motors.
Yeah, it's a hybrid. They're doing my favorite, the diesel serial electric hybrid. It's how trains go.
Yeah.
It's a train system.
It's pretty awesome. They tested it the other day. I saw they took it to a show and got it out. They were driving it and gunned it and everything. It's pretty cool.
I think one of the coolest things too is that they use a lot of standard parts that you can get like at truck shops and things like that.
When I first started seeing them, I thought this was just like, and I think it is like, it's a very small operation.
It is.
Like they might have 10 people.
Yeah, it's a small operation, Canadian, right? And yeah, I guess it's a semi truck that they basically retro modded or resto modded into an electric, but it's not
a project. I mean, this is a company that they're wanting to launch to actually go into production, producing these essentially hybrid tractor trailers.
Yeah, they're using a diesel serial electric system, which look up. It's really cool. It's how modern trains operate. It's a really smart and efficient use of stored energy. And I really wish them well. It's been fun to kind of follow along.
The guy's really good too.
Yeah.
I can listen to anybody with a Canadian accent talk about stuff.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why that's so enjoyable, but it is.
It's nice. Well, one of the things that really stood out for me from like the engineer brain of me was like when they're like, yeah, if your headlight busts, you just replace it with this like Peterbilt or Mac standard. It's not like this, if you stop at like a Pilot's or Love's, you can find parts that will fit your vehicle as opposed to needing to just be on the side of the road and hope that Tesla or whoever shows up to rescue you.
Yeah, you kind of I mean, I would think that you have to do that because, I think Tesla's made a lot of good leaps. It doesn't get talked about near as much as everything else, but I think they've got some pretty good working prototypes of big trucks.
Yeah.
They have for a while, but they look like Tesla. I mean, it's a spaceship.
Yep.
And to that point, these trucks are long haul truckers, and maybe they're not. Maybe those are only for short hauls. Yeah. But if you're going to do it for like a long haul trucker that's, going 200 miles or more at a time, you've kind of got to be able to fix it in a pinch.
Yeah. And I like that too. Just like I saw the Ford Lightning come out and I've heard it's a great vehicle, but I look at like the range or something like that. Oh yeah, I guess it's mixed.
I saw a list of most unreliable vehicles of 2022, and it was number 1.
Oh really? Hey, it's a brand new vehicle.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised, and I'm not dogging them because I really want one, but evidently it's not there yet.
Well, because I looked at that and for a while. I was looking at trucks just for fun, and I was looking at that one, and then I compared it to their 2021 or 22 hybrid, And what's nice about the hybrid is that you can fill it up with gas and keep going. With the electric, you have to stop and find a supercharger. The infrastructure just isn't there in the States yet for it. It's going to be a while before it is. And that's super costly. And I don't know what the carbon footprint of, running tons more wire and everything else everywhere is going to be, or burning more fossil fuels to charge batteries. But
I don't think it matters.
I think in
all, owning an electric car, you have a bigger footprint.
Yeah,
But
in a lot of ways, it
that's
seems
just
like that.
we
Yeah.
just have to be okay with that.
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, there's a ton of advantages to it. I love the instantaneous torque. I love that. But that's what I like about the diesel serial system is that you have all the benefits of electric with all the benefits of being able to refuel, I guess.
Yeah.
As opposed to your standard hybrid, which is your electric motor or gas motor drives the drivetrain of the car. It's a parallel system versus the serial system, which is all of the energy always comes from electric motors.
Yeah.
And the motor, the
power,
gas,
they
the
get
power
from
it's
essentially
a generator. It's a generator. And so you can put a small little diesel motor in there, a little 2-liter diesel or something, and just run that when you need power. But it also has enough power output. You might go into limp mode or something, but
I bet you
could keep it going.
Yeah, and obviously they're tuned how they should be. But when you're running your diesel motor at, I'm sure, low-ish RPMs, not too low, but steady.
Yeah.
It's not revving. It's not
Right.
going up and down. It's not pulling off when you need to slow down, take
Correct.
the break. It's just
you
running.
can optimize that motor.
So I imagine there's probably a lot less maintenance on that motor. Because of
it's
that.
Nice.
It's just
so
a steady run.
Yeah. So
Maybe it could be wrong. I don't know.
I want a
Talking out of
diesel.
my ass
I want a diesel serial electric truck
car.
That's how they all should be. Anyways, that's my TED talk on modern drivetrains and systems. But yeah.
How did we get there?
I don't know. That was so quick. We usually
we
save
went
that
from
for
finishes to candles to
I do like
Edison
candles.
Motors.
Yeah. I don't know. It's been a we're kind of in an off week right now. We've been kind of like gunning with the cabinet stuff, and we kind of have like this slow
Notice
down.
there's not a whole lot in the shop.
Yeah, this week we've been working at home, redoing the laundry room. So Sam's brother moved out a month ago now, I think. And since then we've kind of been renovating, I guess, a little bit. And nice, there goes the phone. Hold on, let me get before this thing gets warm on me. Ding for me.
Plug her in anyways.
Nice. So we turned a bedroom into a closet because we can. Why not?
Yep.
And not for my clothes. I always seem like the guy who would need all the extra space, but no, it's for Sam, surprisingly. And then
What do you have, like eight T-shirts?
I have more like shop shirts, which used to be like nice shirts that you get glue in at one time. You're like, now it's a shop shirt.
You wear it in the shop one day. You're like, all right, I'm not gluing, I'm not finishing.
And next thing you know, you're covered in paint.
Do it, and then there
goes
that.
There goes that.
That's my pants.
Yeah. So now I keep shirts that are not allowed to shop hung up on a hanger in my closet, and I just don't touch those they only get worn after work hours. So that's how I keep it straight now. But so we're doing that. We kind of got that done. So Sam's all set up, and then the laundry room's the next one to tackle. And the laundry room we have looks like a murder chamber for the most part. It's like old drywall, like paper thin. Like I'm not even sure. It seems like paper was just nailed to the studs in the room. There's holes everywhere, and it's like dingy and discolored and unfinished and just gross. And I'm like, we clean our clothes in here. It'd be kind of nice if this was like felt clean. You know? So we took all the old shelving that came with the house out, got rid of this old wooden like 2x whatever workbench that's in there. Took the box truck over there and loaded all the appliances in there, the washer, dryer, and beer fridge out into it, and cleared everything else out. So our house is now overwhelmed with like boxes and this and that. But that room was always like overflow and like not organized, and the shelves weren't big enough to put anything. So we took it all out, and we epoxy painted the concrete floors, which was the thing. We had to clean them first, like use degreaser and all that stuff. And I was comparing pricing for doing that versus LVP, but I was like, you know what? I've already got a can of this paint that I was going to use in here that I didn't use. Let's just do it. Used muriatic acid for the first time.
Yeah.
So I etched the concrete. That stuff tells you to wear a mask, like goggles and gloves when you use it, but it doesn't tell you to use a respirator, and I should have, because I'm pretty sure it off gases like chlorine gas, basically, like poisons. So luckily we didn't die, so that was good.
That's good.
No long-term effects that I can
get a
tell
little
of
buzz?
yet. No, I just saw like something vaporing off, and I was just like, "Nah, the fans are running, the windows open, the doors open. We're probably okay."
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we did that. That was cool. Did a little science. Then we got the paint on there, and that looks great. So a nice, even one color floor now. We're using that like trailer liner, that 16th of an inch, like 4x8 sheets of white plastic, because we were gonna. There were too many holes and weird stuff with the walls to like patch it all with
Trailer
mud.
liner.
It's like plastic sheeting paneling,
How thick?
a 16th of an inch.
4x8.
Yeah,
I'm not familiar.
yeah. So you can get it at Home Depot. It's like $25 a sheet. So it's more expensive than
Is
drywall.
it rolled?
No,
Does it come flat?
It's flat. Yeah,
16th inch.
yeah.
It's like acrylic.
PVC, I think.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because acrylic's expensive.
yeah. No, this stuff's pretty great. It's
And it's made for wall sheathing.
yeah, like for like wet rooms and stuff. You might see it like in a dog wash room or some like in a gym in their walls or something like that. It's just
How do you
cheap.
tack it to the
Well,
stud?
so you don't. It's not mechanically fastened. It's adhered to the
It's
walls.
like peel and stick.
No, it's you got to make it yourself. So they tell you to use this like mastic almost on the back and like scrape it all over the back, and we're like, we're not doing that. That's too much work. So we got liquid nails for paneling that's apparently rated for plastic, and it's got these little strips, these little PVC strips you put on each side. It kind of like that kind of slides into like like
a little
siding
trim
for
connector.
kind of, yeah. It's like what you put like around vinyl siding around the house. And so we just started on one corner, like ran our bottom track and a side track, put up a sheet, but it's so thin and flimsy that like when you go to put it up, it like folds over you. And I was like, I don't know how these guys put mastic on it and then mount it without like some giant
is
suction,
mastic?
like adhesive, like a.
You just coat the whole thing.
That's what it tells you to do, is like scrape this stuff on the back and then slap it on the wall. We just took the liquid nails caulk and just made
On the
snakes
sheet?
on the wall, and then just slapped
wall.
it on the wall.
Oh, you're putting it on the existing sheathing.
Yeah,
Okay, I thought
so-
I was thinking on studs.
No, we left all the drywall there so it had something to stick to, because I was like, look, we either have to take all this down and then put new drywall up. It's the amount of work it's going to take just to patch this stuff up and sand and retape and mud. We're better off just peeling it all off. That's too big of a project. The next owner can do that when they try to get this stuff off the walls, because it's all going to come out in one
At the same
one
time,
rip
yeah.
anyways. Yeah,
It's going to be a lot harder to get off now.
not much. You know, they're just going to peel it, and the whole drywall will probably just pop off the wall. It's bad,
Maybe.
but maybe not my problem. You know.
You've pulled drywall off. You know how that goes.
Yeah,
It
it's
doesn't,
probably
it
nailed.
doesn't just fall off the
It's probably
stud.
not screwed in. It's probably nailed in. It's all falling apart. Whatever. Not my problem. Hashtag not me. Not my problem. So
Anyway.
yeah. Anyways, so we got a lot of that. We got most of it up today, and so it's looking a lot better. So that's really nice. I ordered this giant utility shelf thing, so I'm putting that in tomorrow, and then it's gonna be like done, and the house is gonna be kind of like I can put stuff up. So
Did you
that's
get it
good.
from Uline?
No.
Oh, man, you could get like a couple of catalogs a month.
That's true.
You just got to order something.
That's right. Yeah.
I got one at the house the other day. I've never ordered anything to my house from Uline, but I got one
I've
at
got-
the shop.
I've
I got
got-
one at the house.
Yeah. They found me, and I get a Uline catalog like quarterly.
I love to. I think I get them
Just flip through the
I get 'em
catalog.
monthly. I like to just pick a random page and go, oh, they have that too.
It was one of my favorite like bathroom books.
Yeah.
As a good catalog, you know, I think that's a good place to put your big. Like I remember when I was a kid, I'd go see my dad at the lab on campus. If I was like homesick or had the day off, I'd go to work with them, and they had the old McMaster car catalog, and they just called it the Bible, and that thing is like 3-4
I've
inches
never
thick.
seen a physical McMaster catalog.
I wish I still had one, but I did the same thing. I would flip to a page and be like, "Wow, they have that."
I do that on their website sometimes.
Yeah, they have everything.
Just click around and you're like, no way.
They should have a feature
How
that's
they
just
have
like
all that stuff ready to ship?
Yeah,
It'll be there tomorrow.
I wish they had like a feature, just like a random roll. You know, you just click a button. It's like we have this. And you're like, I never would have guessed. It just randomly picks a catalog item. That'd be a pretty easy website.
Have
to
it
build.
like put in your card, put in your max amount,
We're gonna send you something.
select the randomize, and you get it. Whatever it lands on, you get it at 75%.
I like that. They could do that with
But
those.
but you've already committed.
What are those like subscription boxes? McMaster-Carr could do a subscription box where it's just like pick your limit. And
monthly
every month
box.
we're just gonna it's everyone's different. It's just randomly selected
Dude, that might like bespoke post, but just with random hardware.
with random McMaster-Carr parts.
Think how fast you get your bolt bucket filled
I'll
up.
tell you what, if McMaster-Carr
You'd have
does,
a full bolt bucket by the time you're 30.
I wonder. I'm curious. Like, God, I kind of want to just spend $100 a month and just be randomly sent Granger or McMaster-Carr stuff.
Yeah.
You'd probably get some interesting things.
Bet you would.
400 rolls of some kind of weird tape that you can't find
All
use
right.
for.
Well, just let me start ordering something random for you. You order something random for
No,
me.
it has to be actually random. I don't know
Yeah.
how to actually make it random.
Yeah.
It'd have to be like the Uline thing where it's just you have a page number. You have
You
the
get
page
like
count.
100 feet of O-ring seal, like the make it yourself O-ring stuff.
Junk.
What am I going to do with it? You can't tie up anything with it.
I've been to yard sales where I feel like that's where that stuff came from. Where I was like, did you guys sign up for a McMaster-Carr bespoke post? And they're like, yeah, it was short run. This is too much junk.
Yeah. That's what it would be quick. Because I got 3 bespoke post boxes when I did like a sponsorship thing with them on TikTok.
Yeah.
And they're all just sitting in a pile in my showroom.
I like the idea behind it of like curated cool stuff, but I feel like
Well, you ever ordered a gadget that was cool? It got you
Sure.
on an ad or something.
Yeah.
You played with it for a day or two, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's what that stuff is.
I get it. There's
You know, the camping stuff.
like
and the
stocking
little
stuffer
coffee
stuff.
kit for camping. It's like if you're doing that, you've selected your product that you want.
I definitely like the ones we haven't done it, but I do think there's a lot of merit for like the dog toy ones.
Oh yeah, I've got several
For stuff
friends
like
who
that?
do the bark boxes.
The bark boxes I think make sense, or stuff for like kids, like just random trash junk
No
stuff.
way.
You know, I wouldn't do it, but like I could
Yeah,
see
when
the
I have
merit
kids-
there. Here's a stick. Figure it out.
It's not going to be like that, but all my friends who have kids, you go to their house and the living room is just covered with toys.
Yeah.
And it's everybody. And I'm like, I know it didn't used to be like that because my house and my friends' houses weren't. You didn't just have loads of toys.
Yeah, why don't they just
everywhere.
give them an iPad like everyone else? You know, just have the one toy.
Or I mean, yeah, we had like 1 or 2 or 3 favorite toys that we continued to play with. It wasn't,
Yeah.
you know, and when we were so young that it was like pick up a toy and smash it on something and then pick up the next one and you're bored with that one. We just didn't have the option. We didn't
Yeah.
have a lot of stuff, you know.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think it was that we couldn't afford it, but both my parents grew up not really. That's not true. They didn't grow up not affording it. They just grew up not having it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it gives me anxiety when I think about like having kids and my house looking like my friends' houses with kids. No disrespect.
Yeah.
Everybody parent however it works for you. I'm not going to tell anybody how to. I don't have a kid.
Yep.
But I like to think that when I have kids, I'm going to put a little bit of a governor on that toy thing and like Christmas and birthdays. Just don't get us toys.
There's only so much
We'll
you
get
can
the
do.
kid the toys it needs. You don't give my kid a toy because that toy is going to wind up.
You give
in
me
the floor.
You give me a toy.
Yeah.
Give me a toy.
Can I just get my kids gifts until they're like 13?
Yeah. I like that. I would like it.
Like
if-
not me get them gifts, me get theirs. Yeah.
Yeah. Just why can't we just go to cash? You know, just put money in the fund.
Bingo.
And I'll buy them stuff.
Bingo.
We'll put a note with it.
Or get a savings bond because it'll grow like 0.5% over 30 years.
Least fun gift you can get. Very sensible.
Not even sensible. I've got some in my safe
Yeah.
from that my uncles got me when I was born.
Yep.
And there's like $250 or $300 worth of bonds.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're worth like $450.
I think they
bought them for $250.
my grandma got me some. And I think
There's no appreciation.
I think I cashed them in when I moved to Arizona.
I
pay for
started
the
to,
move.
but I was like, because I was like, okay, I could cash it in now and get $450, or I could let them mature and get $475.
Might as well sit on them.
I think they're mature next year. So.
Nice. There you go. We're all over the place today.
Yeah, I didn't really have anything to talk about, so
No.
it's good. And now that we're doing hour-long episodes, it's easy to hang for an hour. We don't have to like
Stress.
stress. And
Yeah.
plan stuff.
I
need to
have
get back to guests soon. Got a few in mind.
Okay, that'd be fun. Yeah, I've been stressed this
But I
week
wanted to get
for a
our feet
segue.
our legs under us on video before we do that.
I think we were talking earlier how the shop's a little empty. Yeah, it's weird having a lull now because we've kind of been running and gunning, getting jobs. So we've got stuff coming in next week, so that's good. So it was nice to fill the
You
week.
in a production lull? Like you don't have orders?
No, we have orders. We're just waiting for stuff to come in.
Okay.
So I'm, for a little bit there, I think I was enjoying the excess capacity, and now I just look at everything as like nothing I'm doing is value added, and it's costing me money to just exist in the meantime. And so while it's nice to get like some productive stuff done at home, and I mean those are all good things, I'm looking at like, man, I really need to shore up this order thing. And this one was my fault. Like we had a trip and a couple other things going on, and like I let an order slip, like getting it in by 3 days, but like that can add like it's not day to day. There's like weekends involved and this and that. So like me waiting 3 days to order something can add 5 days to getting something in. And so it's just a little good kind of reality check on this week kind of thing of like, hey, I haven't been taking my foot off the gas, but it hasn't been mashed, and I need to put a little bit more pressure on that gas pedal. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna be mashed for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
It looks like, which is good. I mean, like I said, I enjoy that. But we closed on that duplex sale Tuesday.
Nice. Congrats.
Morning. So yeah, that's fun sitting at my conference table.
There you go.
The one I built.
Oh yeah. That's cool.
That's the really second deal I've closed sitting at the table. And I don't know, it's just always kind of a cool full circle moment.
It's nice to go back and see stuff you've made. I had that opportunity this week. A former client called me out. They want another project done. And got to see these big built-ins I did for them. I posted it today, I think. They had decorated it all for Halloween and stuff.
Yeah, I saw that.
But it's always nice. Like, just, first of all, I think it's a huge compliment to get called out to do another job. And then I saw the neighbor who I also had done work for. They were out back, and they're like, oh, hey, this and that. So just felt nice because they're just going back and forth about how much they love the stuff. And I'm like, oh, shucks. Okay, cool.
Yeah, the community aspect of what we do is really cool. And doesn't get talked about a whole lot. I mean, you've got like your Instagram community, right, that everybody talks about, but having, local makers around who, meeting people like that. Yeah. Even people just stop by the shop because they need something planed or something like that. And then you've got your clients, of course, and if your client recommends you to a friend of theirs, right, then it kind of becomes a conversation with the friend of theirs, and the client. It's cool. I really enjoy that aspect of it. I posted in the North Alabama Woodworkers Facebook group today. I was like, hey, calling all cutting board people, I got a bunch of cutting board pieces. If somebody makes me a cutting board, you can have the rest of it. Yeah. Normally I burn a lot of scrap, but I save that stuff because I used to make cutting boards occasionally. Yep. Now that I'm not anymore, I'm like, okay, I need to get rid of this. And I don't need a cutting board. I could use one. You can always use another cutting board. But it was more just the opportunity to have an exchange with somebody else who enjoys this stuff. I met shout out Just Build Jose. _build _Jose. Yep. And he's also, that's his Instagram. He's also on Instagram as, I think, just classic car wraps. Yeah. Because he does car wraps. Yeah. Very cool guy. Very like-minded. I talked to him. We'll have him on the podcast for sure. I think we're going to go to Workbench Con. Yes. He just mentioned it, and I was like, well, I'm going to try to go. Yep. And then I was like, well, you know what? Let's just do it. Yeah. So I told him, I was like, I'm in. Let me talk to Anthony. You were like, I'm in. Yeah, easy. So we're going to go. And it's stuff like, I don't know this guy from Adam. I've met him once. Yeah, I had him cut some custom leather pieces for me. All right. We're going to take a quick pause to reset cameras. I followed his account, and I guess quick clap. I don't know, something. I think I'll be able to figure it out. Yeah, I need AI to do this for me so badly. Yeah. If anyone knows a video editor who's super obnoxiously affordable, please let me know. It's drives me nuts. Maybe we roll down to Tent City and we go, hey, who knows Adobe? 3 people raise their hand. I'm like, it is hard out here, But
Yeah, no,
We're gonna get to the point where the homeless people have coding knowledge.
yeah, we're close. I feel like some cities at least. Yeah, no. I followed his account and saw like that he was into 3D printing stuff and a whole bunch of different like maker stuff. But he's got these like Star Wars droids he's making, like life size scale, and I was like, this is my people.
Yeah, no, I'm really ready to see that big one. I wish I knew what the
It's
droid
an
number
Imperial
was.
probe droid.
Well, there you go.
There
But
you
he's
go.
making it's going to be like 4 feet tall
It's awesome
and
motorized.
function.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if he can figure out the repulsors to make it float, I'll be very impressed.
We'll see.
We'll see. But yeah, no, I do definitely like the community aspect of it. It's just nice. Like whenever I'm like, I don't know, like out, like whenever I have a job downtown, I usually stop somewhere for lunch downtown. And at least half the time, I like see somebody I know out and about somewhere. And it's just nice to be like, oh, hey, hello, and just the random middle of the day stuff.
Yeah.
I really enjoy that aspect of it. And yeah, like getting to just know other small business owners, trades or creative types and all these different things of just, I don't know, the kind of people I'm interacting with.
I kind of had a thought today along the same lines. An insurance salesman came by. He left, I think last week or the week before, I think it was last week, he left a bag of popcorn and a business card at my door. I wasn't there. Oh, thanks. I'm not going to call him. But so he stopped by again with another bag of popcorn.
Is at the shop?
Yeah.
Nice.
So I was like, I was hearing him out, and
You must have listened to one of your episodes, one of the episodes recently.
well, it was like, I'm fixing to, yeah, maybe. I was like, no, you're good. He was just, I don't want to take up too much of your time. I was like, good. I'm just fixing to eat lunch. Oh, well, I won't bother you. Lunch used to be like a sacred thing. You didn't take any time out of anybody's lunch.
Yeah.
If anybody, if you're at work and you need anything done and they say, all right, I'm at lunch, you kind of leave them alone. It's just the etiquette.
Yeah.
Because it's the sacred 30 minutes during the
This is
day
the only time
that is mine.
Yeah.
But now it's like, no, you're good. I'll eat whenever you walk away. It's
Yeah.
not a big deal. I'm not on a window here. And it was, I don't know, I just kind of had a small appreciation for that fact.
Yeah. There's definitely a lot of nice little things that come with it, but I can't think of any more right now.
We, back to the duplex conversation. True to form, we've got our next purchase picked out already.
Sure.
Auction's Wednesday.
Nice.
I'm only saying that now because this will air after that.
Yeah.
Not that any of our listeners are going to jump on and poach it.
I might.
You might.
No.
It's a really nice 3.2, 1,700 square feet, built in 2017.
Nice.
And who knows? I think we're going to go as high as 240.
Okay.
But
Up in Winchester?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
I don't think it's going to go for less than that.
Yeah.
Ty seems optimistic that it won't go that high.
Huh.
The market's slowed down some up there. Huntsville's not slowed down much. But the market up there has slowed down a little bit. Of course, interest rates are pretty high. But it's a nice property. It's, like I said, 2017 build. It's on a 1 acre corner lot. It's clear. There's no trees on it or anything. House is in great shape. I mean, it's a turnkey rental.
Yeah.
It could use some updating if you were going to flip it. But it's a turnkey rental. We are probably going to rent it, but we haven't quite decided yet. We might flip it. So we'll see. It's always exciting times.
Yeah.
When you got cash, you pick out something you want to buy. And then, of course, auctions are fun. Even if this one's
They're
online.
exciting.
This one's online only, so Ty and I will just be sitting at a laptop.
Yeah.
Or
Chugging beer.
probably just on the phone.
More. I like it. Yeah, I had a thought. I don't know why.
It's gone.
God. It's been a long day. We've been working in a small room, breathing in fumes.
It's been a long day. We had to work all day.
Had to work all day.
Yeah, no,
That's
I get
rough.
It's
Yeah.
tough. It is.
It is funny. Like I give I remember working in an office, and at the end of the day, there's days where Sam's just wiped and I'm just wiped. And of course, part of me is like, you just sat. But then but luckily I could look back and be like, no, that's still like mentally taxing.
Oh,
and
yeah.
stuff
It's like
too.
driving. You're just sitting driving, but you're so tired after.
Exhausted after. I'm just focused.
Because you're
the
so
whole time.
switched on the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely nice to, I don't know. There's days that I miss that, and there's days, most days I don't. But who knows?
I've never missed the desk portion of my old job.
I do like the mobility aspect of it. I can be here, I can be there, I can move around.
Of
Just like of doing this
Oh,
job.
yeah. Yeah, when I think about stuff I miss, it's not the desk stuff. It's when I'm, in the field,
Yeah.
working on the hardware, working with the guys in the shop, all that kind of stuff. Your meetings, I actually enjoyed meetings most of the time because it's better than sitting and looking at my computer.
That's true.
If they're good meetings.
Yeah, they weren't always. They usually weren't. I don't know.
We had so many in manufacturing. You had so many tag ups that most of them were just housekeeping meetings. So then you just got to see people and hang out for 10 minutes.
The thought came back to me.
Yeah.
How are the tiny homes going?
Probably about the same as the last time we talked
Good.
about them. I've just been building furniture,
Yeah.
so I haven't really done anything on them. I've been ordering some materials. I got all my doors and windows are in now, and I've got all the material for the metal roofing. So probably Saturday I'll be putting on metal roofing.
Yeah.
It'll be the first time, but it's not too complex, and they're very simple. It's the simplest roof you could design. So
That works.
I don't think it's going to be too bad. I did the same thing as I normally do. I walked into the metal roofing supply store and went, "Here's what I'm doing.
Tell me what I need.
Tell me what I
please."
need."
Yeah.
She was like, "What do you need?" And I was like,
You tell me.
Does this stuff, like, do you guys cut it to length? Or what lengths does it?" She's like, "We cut it to length." She was like, this poor guy. I was like, "Okay, so I'm going to trim 3 sides, and the lowest side's going to have a gutter. It's just 4-sided shed roof." So she told me everything I needed.
It's funny now, like when I find myself in those situations, like right now, like I have to be the expert on like cabinets and wood stuff. And then I'm in a situation now where I'm just like totally not, especially like after all the other stuff that I've done, like the house remodeling and all this. And I really do find myself like with some kind of trade situation where like I'm just out of my element completely. It's just kind of funny and humbling just to be like, I don't know.
It's such a load off. I'm to the point where I kind of enjoy doing that. You don't have to walk in. There's no facade that I'm a home builder.
Right.
And, all right, I need 47 sheets of this color code at 103 inches, whatever it is. You don't have to do that. And it feels, honestly, it's so much more relaxing, I think, for everybody to just walk in and go, "Here's what I need to do.
Yeah.
What do you recommend?"
Yep.
And make sure the person knows what they're talking about. But generally, if it's somebody in that field, I'm meeting a guy tomorrow afternoon up on the land to talk about cutting in the new gravel road.
Yeah.
And that'll be the same conversation. Here's what I want to do. What's the best way to get that done? How much do you actually need the felt under the gravel? What size gravel goes here? Is there any way we can, maybe put a little bit down that'll get us through the next year and then follow up and make it good and permanent? Can we make, to make it cheaper up front before they're making stuff like that?
Let me know what you find out from that, because I really want to add a gravel road around the barn here just so I can get a semi in. I really want a semi to be able to come directly to here and have the ability to turn around and get back out. So I don't know.
Because it's not a matter of just laying gravel over grass, right? You got to cut the dirt down a little bit.
I guess.
The best thing to do is they have a fabric that goes underneath it. I think it's mostly weed control. But, there's stuff that I just don't know.
Yeah.
And it's nice to be able to just go, you don't have to be the cool guy who knows everything. Just, hey, I'm really good at what I do. I'm assuming you're really good at what you do. So tell me how to do what you do. Tell me how we need to do this. I'm
going to happily let you be the
expert.
expert.
And if you need a table, I'll be the expert. Because, you've got clients. Everybody gets clients who don't build furniture, who don't build cabinets, who have a lot of input.
Yes.
And
for sure.
Yes, I want all your design input. I want to give you the product that you want. But outside of that, how are you? And I don't have as much on furniture, but I feel like you get probably more of it on cabinets.
Yeah, I'm dealing not quite like that. This client's they're awesome. They want to use a material that I haven't used before. I found a vendor for it, and it's kind of like I'm really trying to stick to like what I know and what I've used, but I can't learn more stuff until I just start trying to use it. So they wanted a different material and the vendor that I had used before, and I ran into this problem of they basically want no hardware on their cabinets. and they didn't want to do push to open because they don't want fingerprints on stuff, and they want acrylic. And I found there's this one product that's like acrylic wrapped MDF, which is great, no issues with it. But they didn't like the fact that I can't do incorporated hardware on it. Like I can't like cut a slant into the top where they can use it as a finger pull. They make products that you can cut and then add on to it, but they wanted the cleaner look of not having that. So I found the vendor that has it with an integrated finger pull in the drawers and doors. And I went through, I was designing it, and then it just occurred to me, how do they get their fingers in? You know, like I have to like leave a larger reveal above drawers and around doors so they can get their fingers in to act like if the drawer comes right up under the counter and there's like a slant in the back of the drawer, we'll have to be able to reach around to get to it.
Oh, I was seeing like an actual cutout.
So that's called like a J pull and you can have that in the front. And there's some companies that make that, but I haven't found one that has the acrylic fronts with that incorporated. It's an add-on, and they wanted to avoid that. So I had to send them the message of, hey, new material, just had this thought, realized we can't really do it like have the seamless, really small reveals between doors and drawers and use this kind of pull because you won't be able to get your fingers in. And we have to do a couple of other things instead.
Are they slab style or panel?
They're all slabs.
Okay.
So there's slabs with like 145 cut on one of the edges.
Okay. So set in from the backside some magnets, and then have them just get magnets put into their fingers.
Oh, I like that. That's a good. Here's your magnet. Here's your magic wand for your drawers. You just pull them all open with magnets, or you can embed them into your hands.
Yeah.
I like that. No, but
What's
then
the guy who does have you seen those crazy, like Harry Potter? It's not Harry Potter. It's what does he call them?
Wizards.
They're these crazy like gaming tables.
Oh yeah,
and they've got like 37 different drawers.
They're crazy.
If you pull the handle, it opens a drawer. If you twist the handle and then pull it, you can pull out the wand, and
which
then you point the wand at the lion's paw, and it'll open.
Yes,
like that.
Then you make a certain tone with a whistle, and it transforms into a coffee table. You know? Yeah. No, it's like that. But it was interesting because the same thing. He responds like, "Well, can we do this and this and this or this and this?" And I'm thinking, and it's it's funny because I have to sit there and think because I'm still learning some of this stuff. But at the same point, like I'm realizing I have learned a lot because, and I'm sorry, I don't know if there's a point to this story. I'm just airing out thoughts as they come to me. But
I think there's a point here. I think the point is that if your client asks for something you haven't done, but you feel like you can probably do it, don't tell them yes, we can for sure do this. And B, tell them, hey, this is something new. I think we can get this done. Let me pursue it for a little while, see what I can find out. And just know that throughout this process, like I haven't done this before. I have the skill set to get it done. It's just a matter of can we find the right products.
Right.
So there may be some trial and error here, but I'm going to work with you to get it done to the best of our ability. And clients love that. It's not something they're not going to look at it and go, "Oh, he's never done this before."
No, and that's
they're
kind of the
look
path.
At it and go, "I think we're in good hands. Let's see what he can find out."
Yeah, that's kind of the path we took with this one. I felt bad because I felt really confident, like on the last meeting we had, that we picked up materials and everything. And my next step was just to update drawings and send a new quote. And then when I was updating the drawings, I was looking at it, I go, "Where do the fingers go?" You know, and so I had to send the email out and this and that. So, now it's like we're coming with these options of, we can use this same material, but we have to put in what's called a Gola, which is a term I learned at the conference I was at in Vegas. It just means like some people do these embedded C channels in the face of the cabinetry that basically give you that space behind drawers to get your fingers in. So it's like it's a 32 mil wide C channel that gets embedded in the face, and so you can have that integrated pull. So I was like, we either have to add those in.
It's about 1.25 inches for
bingo. Yes,
all the Americans listening to our podcast
and freedom units, and so you can do that, or they make not I guess a faux Gola, but it's like an integrated Gola where it's you put this add-on. You can actually click them on. They make these little snaps that you screw into the edge of the drawers. Then you click on this thing, so it's like that J channel thing. But when it's all closed, it looks like it's the Gola, and so it just lets you get your fingers in. So I was like, hey, we can do this. I was like, if you're dead set on using this acrylic, which is the most expensive option that I can possibly think of. We can do that. We just have to put the Gola in. So if your priority is acrylic, that's how we do it. If your priority is seamless, really thin gapped acrylic faced doors and drawers, we either have to do all push to open, or we have to do, which I know you don't want to do because you're worried about fingerprints, or we have to do the faux Gola on there. I'm sorry, we have to do all push to open, pretty much. Period. If you want just the thin gaps, there's just not really any other way to do that.
Yeah, I'm not seeing, like, for the example you gave under your countertop, I'm not really seeing where the Gola helps. You just shift everything down enough.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. Okay. So there's a C channel at the top. So basically, if you have a 3-drawer stack, you have a Gola that goes across the top, and there's a slant on the top drawer. Your second drawer, between your second drawer and third drawer, there's another Gola, and your slant goes down on the second drawer and up on the third drawer. So you pull the top drawer open from the top, the second drawer open from underneath, and the third drawer on the bottom from the top.
Oh, that's weird.
So there's just 2 of these stripes that go down. And then, but like for doors, you can either put a vertical Gola in between door sets, or you put it under the top door.
So if you got 2 doors that close, how far apart do they need to just?
They don't. Well, you can either put the Gola between them, or you can run it above them and have the slant be you open the doors from the top.
Gotcha.
So I was like, it's like if you're dead set on the
how big are your spaces between, like, your visible space between drawer fronts
with the Golas?
With the Gola,
32 mil, well, inch and a quarter.
So it's the whole.
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh, I don't like that.
Yeah. It doesn't look. I'll show you a picture later. It doesn't look bad.
Right?
You can get them in all sorts of colors. Okay. So you can get brass or black.
I think I'm just not seeing it.
I'll show you a picture. It's pretty interesting. And so it was cool though, because I was like, I didn't know about this at all. So it was nice, like, looking back to the conference. I remembered meeting a vendor that sold products related to this that made it easier, and I was like, that's interesting. You should remember this. And then this came up, and I was like,
that's why these things are write-offs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so I was like, oh, cool. I do remember this. And I looked it up, and I sent him his options. I was like, yo.
What'd you learn from your trip? I learned what a Gola was.
My goal was to learn about Golas. And it was cool. It was like, hey, we can do acrylics with Golas. If we do anything else, solid acrylic just doesn't make sense for you. Like, we can. I'll still charge you for that, but, like, that's just doesn't seem useful to you.
Right.
Because you're looking at, like, a 2-foot by 8-foot panel that I would need, like, around a fridge is, like, just my price is, like, I have to pay, like, $1,300 just for that. I'm like, again, totally doable if that's what you want, but it seems a little extreme for what you're wanting here. And so it's just been interesting to kind of play that game. And I think I was thinking about this, like, the clients with a lot of input, because, like, he's got some very specific wants and things that they've seen, and they used to live in Europe, so they're used to, like, the European kitchen styles. So it's a really cool challenge, and it's nice to, like, I guess, feel like I'm learning enough to, like, speak about it, feel like I'm communicating well enough to, like, take on something new and not just shy away from it and be like, hey, I'm open to the challenge, but, like, I'm learning this too. Yes, we can get it. I'm not going to sell you something. Like, I'm not going to take your money and then, all I've gotten so far was the design deposit. We haven't gotten on contract or anything. And so I'll keep working that until we do.
Yeah, I've had a decent amount of that in my last several builds. Just things that I haven't done.
Yeah.
But I feel like I can do. And if it's something that I know that I can do,
yeah,
I don't really give a spiel. But if it's something that I feel like I can do, I'm like, yeah, I haven't done this before, but I think I can figure it out. Here's what I'm thinking, talk them through the whole thing. But, like, the set that I just finished today, has got those removable leaves on the outsides. I designed it. I feel like I saw it somewhere, but I'm not positive about that. But it's just my design. The way that it works is, and just integrated some slides. It's neat. You can go on my Instagram and see it.
Yeah, it's cool.
But the only thing about that, well, before I pivot too much, the last gaming table, had the LEDs in it. I've never done that before. I've been playing with a lot more joinery on my last several builds. I'm getting really comfortable with that stuff. The table that I just did had a lot in it, and that's something that this time last year I would have really been scared of. Probably would have thrown a lot more time at it, so charged more. or just taking more time and lost money on it just trying to learn. But at this point, like, everything's coming along well. Everything's coming out well.
Yeah.
And pretty quick for the most part. You know, the set that I finished and the chairs, like, that's pretty technical. But all in all, I think I have less than a month into that entire set. So it's just neat to be able to, and you have to do that stuff. You know, if you shy away from every challenge, then you're not ever gonna improve. If you just keep building farmhouse tables, you're gonna get really good at building farmhouse tables. You're gonna get really good at whatever joints you're choosing to, you know, put at the legs and however you choose to do the top and your breadboards and stuff like that. I'm not saying a farmhouse table is not technical, but you're just going to get really good at those joints.
Yeah.
But if you make it a point to incorporate new stuff into each design, new, you know, different kinds of joints. One thing I don't play with really at all is finishes.
Yeah.
But other than that, you know, I'm putting different kinds of joints. The next table I'm building that I'm starting tomorrow has the legs coming all the way up to 30 inches.
Interesting.
And then the corners of the tabletop will be cut out. So it'll kind of sit inside the legs. Again, something I know that for sure I can do, but something I haven't done before. And there's little idiosyncrasies with everything. You do have to think about your expansion and contraction, because you're going to have uniform joints. You're going to have uniform distances from the leg. There'll be like a little offset from the legs. It'll be uniform on one side of the leg, but on the other side, that's going to grow and shrink.
Right.
So you're going to have to figure out how you want to mount it to allow that and things like that. So it's good to, if you get some design liberty, go ahead and throw something in that that you haven't done before, but you think you probably can do, but maybe is a challenge. You know, take any opportunity you can to incorporate that stuff, because it's just going to make you better.
Yeah, it's tricky, because for a while I was definitely like, if it's wood, we'll build it, and I definitely started saying no to things now.
Yeah, that feels good.
It does feel good, but it's also that, like, someone reached out to me today about like this big custom millwork package at this apartment complex that they're building in March or April of next year.
I got that. I didn't open it.
Yeah, so I got that one.
Was it titled just custom millwork?
Maybe. I don't remember.
It was
Buffalo Builders, I think.
I don't remember. I got one today that was custom millwork for an upcoming project.
Yeah, it might have been that. And it's a big thing. And I was like, are there cabinets? And they said, yes. And then I opened the thing, the drawings, and all the cabinets are X'd out. I go, are the cabinets not part of this one? They go, oh, no, it's just everything else. I'm like, oh. Well,
was there any furniture in it?
No. Yes, but not.
I rarely look at those. I get those quite a bit.
Yeah.
You know, they just blast it to everybody in the area to get bids. Most of the time I don't even respond, because they're not looking for custom furniture. They're looking for a supplier to supply all these tables.
Yeah. Now the millwork stuff in this one, it's all hard. It's a ton of different finishes and this and that. I'm like, this is a big job for a big crew kind of thing, and they want a turnkey thing. So I figure I'll at least talk with them, because I like making those contacts, because, you know, it's like, hey, you guys might already have your cabinets on this one, but in case there's another job that comes in the area, like, I need you to know that I'm here, and
I'll respond to it and opt out, but I'll say whatever cabinet work you guys need done, I can tell you who to go to.
There you go. Bingo.
And I'm going to send them to Chris.
That's fair. They do a great job. They do a really good job. But yeah, it's been, It's been fun every time I have little chances to see like where I've gotten to, and that's nice, I guess. I don't know.
You're not tired, are you?
Man, I'm so beat. I don't know. Sorry, everybody. Normally I'm a fountain of great information, I think, and cheer. But today I'm just, I don't know. My brain's not.
You're not doing so hot at filling the void.
Normally I feel like that's my strong suit, and I feel like I start to, my brain's just like, no.
Yeah. In all fairness, I walked in. I was like, "How you doing, buddy?" And he was like, "I'm tired today."
Yeah. Well, they can't all be winners.
We all get those.
That's okay.
I'm tired most of the time.
This whole time I've been trying to think of like some good nugget to share. I like to have one good little nugget.
Yeah, I just got mine out. It was the one about challenging yourself and incorporating, complex joints.
I think we'll just share that one.
Okay.
I think I'll just.
You kind of started that thought.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. I'll take some partial ownership of that. So
yeah, instead we got what you're doing with your laundry room.
I don't know. That's just what we've been doing
And
today.
Golas.
Golas. You know, I'll tell you what. If you're getting into cabinets, just go look up Gola. It's actually pretty cool.
You
There's
should
some
probably
cool
just
stuff.
take one day a week to dive into European cabinetry.
I have been spending more time on Instagram. I have made a point to go follow tons of cabinet builders and designers and stuff like that. I'm really trying to fill my feed with, like, anytime I see anything about Taylor Swift.
Feed.
Yeah, with Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, I'm now deleting those. I'm not following those accounts. It's too much. It's too
that's
corporate.
what we should have talked about this whole time.
Was Travis Kelce.
Israel and Palestine.
Oh God, just I'm not. No.
I think there's a lot of people feel this way because I posted a little thing about it on my story, and the synopsis was I don't care.
Yeah.
I care about people. I do. It's not that I don't care that people are dying. I just don't care about the conflict because I don't know anything about it, and I'm never gonna have enough information to make a real educated opinion.
I'm in Alabama.
So exactly. So I don't care.
Yeah.
And then stuff like that, like that started hitting my algorithm, and that's evidently a pretty common sentiment because everybody's going. I see funny skits. Guy was like. So I've responded to everything. I put up my, I was in with Black Lives Matter. I put up the Ukraine flag in my bio, and this time I don't know what flag. I just want to put a flag up. I don't want to say a lot, but I want to put a flag in my bio, and I don't know which one to put because if I put one, then they're just exploring both sides.
So funny.
Because no matter what you say, you do have somebody, and it doesn't quite. For a large part, it does follow partisan lines, but a lot of it doesn't. There's a lot of people on the left that are on one side, and a lot of people from it's a mixed bag. But for some reason, everybody's mad about whichever one you pick, and it's just so silly. It's like, look at this, folks. This is a very complex, decades old. International conflict over a piece of land.
Yeah, the land conflict is
over
old.
a piece of land that's smaller than your state, most likely.
This is a thousands of years old issue.
Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah.
That anybody who's on Instagram,
Stephanie in Lincoln, Nebraska, is not about to solve this.
Even the big time folks don't know what to do with it. They might pick a side and roll with it. It's like there's great points on both sides, and that's when I go, I just don't care.
Yeah.
Worry about what you can change.
Yeah. Well, now's another good pause point for us to reset the cameras. All righty. Back for round 3. Yeah. Well, international conflicts are complicated.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Why do we feel the need to weigh in?
I do feel like we need to. It's just a good opportunity for us to flex our new toys. The USS Gerald R. Ford is hanging out outside the coast. That's a giant killing machine. I don't know.
The military-industrial complex is really good at what it does.
That's who's winning.
Because you've got all those views that I was talking about, but I'm also getting videos in my algorithm that are like just goofy pro-war. Yeah, it shows the ship going over. It's playing music, and then they'll put like a face on
Senator
the ship and starts talking or whatever. Yeah,
yeah.
I like those. But then at the same time, I'm like, no, I shouldn't be cheering for that.
Like that. Yeah, I've been trying to. I've realized that I'm really not on my personal Instagram and like Facebook as much anymore, which is kind of nice.
I'm on my personal Facebook. I never get on my personal Instagram, but my Instagram is basically my personal. My Johnson
that's
company
true.
Is.
Yeah, so I've really been leaning, like I said, I've been trying to follow more accounts that like have something to like show me kind of thing. Not just like teach me, but like less of the influencer stuff.
Yeah,
and less of the maker stuff, and more of like the I am trying to get better at cabinets. So let me go follow a bunch of pages that show beautiful cabinetry or how-to stuff. And it's cool. Like I did find recently there's a product. I've got a face frame cabinet job. I'm waiting on the parts to show up. And it's inset. So the problem with inset is you can't rest the front of your drawer glides on the face frame. You have to put them inside. And so that means you have to block it out, meaning you have to go make a piece of wood the size of your sidewall, fill the space between the sidewall and the opening of the drawer, and then screw your drawer glide into that, make sure it's perfectly flat and square to everything. That takes time, and it can be complicated.
It's not that much fun.
And so I found this one person, they were doing built-ins at some client's house, maybe their house or something. And in like the weird corner of the video, I saw like this weird, like plasticky looking thing in the cabinet that the drawer glide looked like it was on. So I messaged them. I go, "What is that? What is that thing?" And they go, "Oh, it's a inset drawer glide block." And I go, "What is that?" And it's just this little block that rests on the inside of the face frame on that corner, and just has a hole.
Exactly what you need.
Exactly what I need. You can screw your drawer glide into it. You can adjust it with another screw to come in or out just to get everything perfect. And I'm like, what? Fantastic. Fantastic. And it was so cool to the point that I actually emailed my vendor for the cabinet parts, because they sell some other accessories like leveling feet, leveling blocks, things like that. I was like, hey, I don't know if you guys have heard of this, but this would be a cool thing to add on your page, because if you're ordering face frame stuff, and most times
anything that can make inset easier,
way easier,
please.
Well, because their cabinets are already they're piloted in the back for the little angle brackets that hold the back side of the glides. Mm-hmm. So that's easy. It's just getting it in the front,
just setting that distance,
right? So now it's just like, it was a part that I wasn't really worried about, but just knew that I was going to have to mess with. That I'm like, oh, problem already solved. I just have to order a dozen of these things and just click them in. And especially now that my face frame is just getting done first and separate, I can. It's just way easier. So it's nice to be starting to see some of that stuff, and just like, again, like little, I don't know. I feel like, you hear the, if your 5 closest friends are this, you'll be the 6th kind of thing. I'm trying to like manifest that in a way of like on my social media.
Your algorithm.
Yeah. If I'm gonna be wasting time scrolling through this, like at least let me find some cool little things. I found this guy that
because you don't get, I get crossover between the fun maker stuff and the furniture.
Yeah.
There's a lot of crossover, because you've got guys that are making high level furniture who are also kind of in that maker, you know, like your Philip Morley's and your Daryl Pert and stuff like that, who are making like high level makers.
Yeah.
But they are in the community, so it's fun, and they're at Workbench Con and they know all the people, but they're also, you're seeing their stuff and going, whoa, I didn't know you could do that.
Right.
So there's more crossover for me, but I don't see, none of them are offering, here's the cool cabinet piece.
Yeah. I at some point, I feel like if I wanted to really focus on social media stuff, which I don't think I ever will, but it'd be cool.
I don't think you'll need to in the cabinet game.
I think it'd just be, I don't know, it'd be an interesting, once I get this one figured out well enough where I have a little more flexibility, I think I'd like to, more like in the giving back sense of like,
I was going to say, maybe you need to be
right here. Hey, are you building cabinets?
Be making the crossover content.
Right. There seems to be, because there's for sure a void. And I think,
because you can look up how to make, bourbon moth.
Yeah.
How to make a cabinet. Here's how you make a carcass. Here's how you do your face frame. Here's how you do your box, drawer faces. All that stuff exists. But to your point, I feel like there's not near as much. Here's how you do a custom kitchen. Right.
Yeah. And here's the things to keep in mind. Like, hey, you're doing a blind right corner cabinet. Here's what you should know. Don't get carried away with this. Make sure you leave room for. Have you ever been in an Airbnb that was flipped by people who don't know what they're doing, and you try to open the drawer and it hits the fridge? There's ways to not do that.
Have you ever flipped a house and didn't know what you're doing, so you had a drawer that opens up into another one?
Yeah. That's pretty standard stuff.
Yep.
Little things like that. So yeah, I thought about I'm like, man, there's definitely a void of that, and I think that being a cabinet maker did not sound appealing when I was getting into this, because I think of a lot of the content that I was consuming, as far as, and like, again, where my personal interests are. And I still would, I think at the end of the day, I like the idea of building complex, unique things, but cabinets can be pretty complex and they can be pretty unique. And so
I feel like you are more, I don't want to say more, but the ratio's heavier to more of a businessman. Like, when you compare, am I a businessman?
Oh, great. There goes my compressor randomly.
How long is that going to run?
Oh, God. Or just pause. All right, the compressor's full.
So what I was saying is, I think I would call you more like equal parts almost a business owner and a cabinet maker.
Yeah.
Whereas, we have this conversation a lot.
Yeah.
But I would call myself like 20% business owner, 80% furniture maker.
Yeah.
So that was as far as I recalled on the thought. I swore I had it all.
You had it. That's so funny.
I had the next few words.
Well, like I've said before, like I had to come to terms with the fact that like I like building weird, complex, oddball stuff, and my business needs to build.
That's what it was. I think, yeah, your business needs to be custom where you can incorporate that, complex, oddball stuff. But at the same time, you're building a small business, which is complex and oddball in and of itself.
Yes.
That's the overall point.
We got there. No,
I hope that got through to you.
No, no, I agree. So it's been I can't remember. This is I'm so sorry if you've sat through this long and you're like, what is happening? But here we are. I don't know. It's a fun ride. Oh,
it might have been all the drugs from spoons.
That's right. Might have been all that muriatic acid on concrete. I did get to use the Festool Domino, whatever.
The Festool Domino?
No,
the connectors.
The connectors that you
those
tighten.
Are good. I love those.
We use that for a cabinet job. For these island sides, we had these pilasters in the back, which is like this.
Oh, I never sent you these pictures. I'll pull them up. Go ahead.
Yeah, so we had these pilasters on the seating side, which is just think like two 8-inch wide panels that are pre-mitered together to create like these nice big corners. Oh, nice. Yeah.
Like that, but
yeah.
They had
yeah. Cool.
Yeah, they had storage in there.
I like that. That
was at the beach house that we were at.
Oh, nice. That's cool.
I was like, because the shape of it reminded me of the island you just did. And I was like, oh, they put storage in there.
Yeah, storage pilasters.
I thought about yours. I was like, oh, you could have put storage in there.
Yeah.
They just got nice. It's facing the living room, so they had the board games and stuff in there. It was neat.
I like that. Yeah, so we did that, and I was trying to figure out how do we connect it to the applied panels on the short ends or the smaller ends. And I was like, well, I've had the Domino and I've had those removable connectors.
Do they make different sizes, or are they all 14 millimeter?
There's a different size for the 500 and 700, I think.
Okay.
So yeah.
So it was not the 14 millimeter.
No, I think it's like 8 mil. I think is what mine is.
That's good to know.
And so they're made.
I think mine can do. I think the 700 can do 8. I think that's
yes.
the smallest it can do is 8.
Yeah. And so I like that. And that's great. And that's great for cabinetry. These are specifically kind of made to go into like 3/4 inch material. 19 mil material.
I've had some that I needed smaller.
Yeah.
So that's good to know.
No, it was great. They work super well. They clamped on perfectly tight seam and everything. And so that was nice. So it's like, yeah, it's just, there's little new things that I'm getting to incorporate now that they're working, and kind of going back to what you were saying earlier about the new stuff. I try to be careful not to just say yes to big things. I'm trying to be really careful with my yeses and like strategic with it, of like, with this acrylic doors and the Golas and all this stuff. It's like, I make custom cabinets. I need to know these things,
For sure.
And there's parts of this that I don't understand that are daunting but exciting, and once I kind of tackle it, then it's not a scary new thing anymore. Now it's like, oh, you want this? Like, look at this thing. Like, I want to get to the point where people can point to a picture of cabinets in a magazine and go, I want this, and I can go and I go, yeah, easy, done.
Yeah, no, I know how to do that.
Yeah, and so it's the same way with like a complex jointed piece of furniture. I'm sure it's the same.
It'll really set you apart on that note, because like clients like the one you're talking about.
Yeah,
I know what I want.
Yeah.
Whatever it takes to get it done, I know what I want.
Yeah.
If you were, XYZ cabinet shop.
Yeah.
Who we do this, this, and this, well, you're just going to lose that job. And maybe your business is good enough that you just don't want that job, and that's fine. But that puts you in a good position to go, oh, I got that. Because what if they called XYZ cabinet shop before you?
Right.
And they went, that's not very common in the industry. We've never done it. We've honestly never been asked to do it. And we just don't offer that. So then they call you and you go, well, I've never done it. Let's figure it out.
Yeah, and now it's kind of the time.
That makes you look good. And then the next guy that wants that thing, you go, yeah, I do that.
Well, and now is kind of the time to try that kind of stuff too. Because I think if, let's say, 40 years down the road I'm doing this, maybe I'm just not touching that kind of stuff because it just, it's off nominal, you know. But
I
it's
think
not,
the more you scale, the less you veer from nominal. It's
Correct.
probably just a natural thing.
yeah, and so now it's like I like even the face frame stuff. You know, we haven't done face frame stuff in a while, and like some people have been like, "Why would you touch a face frame thing?" You know, just I'm like, well, because I need the money, and B, I want to try
Why
this.
not?
Why not? You know, and like my vendor that I get all my frameless stuff from also offers framed, and I just want to see how that goes. And if it's super annoying and complex and awful, then yeah, I'll probably stray away from it. But if it's not, then I'll go maybe for vanities. It's fine. Maybe I wouldn't do a whole kitchen like this.
How did they do the framing?
Cabinetry.
Mm-hmm.
Their whole Cabinetry is named after like this notch in their cabinetry that they have. It's like a special, not dovetail, but think of like a special routing channel that's on the sides of the face frame. So after you build the cabinet, the face frame literally just slides on the face of it.
Okay.
So it makes it super easy to assemble.
That's cool. Yeah.
So it kind of
I wondered where the notch came from. I figured out the cabin part.
So it doesn't click together like the frameless do with the lamello clips. But there are those kind of slotted channels on the different panels, so it all kind of slides and fits together. And so you're using a little bit of glue here and there, and it'll come some staples.
I'm curious. I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, so that'll be a fun one to get in here. And yeah, it's kind of right now is a good time to like try some new things. It's definitely going to teach me and help me learn things. And then I'm more educated to say like, oh no, you don't want to do that, and here's why. Or yeah, we can do that. We typically don't. Here's why. But like we can. It's just going to cost you more because it's just significantly more complex. We can achieve the same look doing something else. Like for example, I don't really want to install Golas on everything. That's way more complex. I have to mess with the cabinetry and all this stuff. The simulated Gola is great because the cabinets stay the exact same. Nothing changes. All I'm doing is adapting the doors in a very easy way. And so that's why I'm going to try to push this client towards of like, you know, that's where I can be the expert to say like, I know enough of it. I've read all the documentation.
Yeah.
I know how this stuff works. Like I can get you the look and feel that you want. We're going to do it this way. I can't guarantee, I'm not confident, not that I can't get it done, but it just doesn't fit. It doesn't make sense for me to spend all this extra time to get you essentially the same thing. Or sure, I can give you a number for it, but it's just going to be rude. You know, you're not going to like it. I'm not going to, I'll feel great if you say yes, but it's, it just doesn't make sense. So it's just been fun to get to play with some different stuff. So I don't know.
I dig it.
Yeah. Well,
I'll wrap us up with a little anecdote.
Okay.
Last week I had and I get this a lot, and I've talked about this before. I get people occasionally who will call me and go, "Hey, you're a wood shop. I've got a couple of boards and I don't have a planer.
Yeah.
I need them planed." Well, actually, you need to probably joint one side first and then plane it. But yeah, bring them on. I'll walk through it. Well, no big deal. And it's always like I don't charge for that, and I tell them up front like I don't charge for this stuff, but I'm happy for you to come by, enjoy the company. And it's always, if somebody's doing that, it's always somewhat of a like mind.
Sure.
Otherwise, they would
what you build in. That's cool. Have you thought about this?
Yeah. And this guy called me, and I said, "Yeah, we can take care of that. Just bring him on down." He's like, how about right now?" And this was Thursday, or I think it was Friday afternoon. It was not Friday afternoon because I was out of town. It was one of those days during the week. And I was like, "Yeah, come on down." He's like, "All right, I'm on my way." I'm like, "Oh, all right." So he comes and he brings some boards, some live edge stuff that he bought that we were cutting, basically ripping down, cutting 45s on. He was wrapping. He was going to make a little wraparound bar. He's got like a nice man cave whiskey bar thing. And he was so excited. I was showing him my machines. I was explaining how a joiner works.
Yeah.
He had done some, woodworking, kind of the Facebook marketplace woodworking that we talk about. Everybody started at, and he did some of that. He had a product that he made, I think he said a couple thousand of. He wound up making a lot of them. But so basically he had tinkered. Yeah. He had heavily tinkered, but didn't know about, real woodworking, air quotes. You gotta.
No, we're okay. We probably got a couple minutes before it kills itself again.
But he was like, "This is gonna sound stupid, but this is the most fun I've had in a long time."
Nice.
And like I just enjoyed that, and I like to talk about this stuff. Obviously, we have a podcast.
Sure. Yeah.
It. So it's fun to explain him how things work, and I would say, "Well, what we should do here," and he's like, "I don't know. I brought this to you." He's like, And super friendly guy. I just enjoyed it. Had a good time. And that was the end of it. And he goes, well, what do I owe you? And I said, well, I don't. He pulled his wallet out. And I said, I really don't charge for this stuff. And he starts flipping through his $100 bills.
Like, but if you want to pay me, I mean,
and he was like, well, how long have we been here? It's like a couple hours, right? And I was like, I don't know. I didn't look at the clock. And he hands me $200. And he goes, is this enough? I was like, that's too much.
Yeah.
I mean, he had 2 short live edge slabs. We ripped them down, put 45s on them, and then put a little angle on the back because he had like a existing shelf that he wanted to kind of fold it around. And that was it. But I walked away with $200.
There you go.
This must have been the Friday before last, because Alex and I always go to Tailgaters. So I was like, all right, well, no, that's awesome. He said, is this enough? I said, well, that's too much. So yeah, that'll pay for my date tonight. We're good to go.
There you go.
And I gave him, he was picking through my scraps because he wanted some like stuff to set his bottles on, like just like oversized coaster.
Oh, cool.
Basically. Yeah. And I had a live edge piece of walnut that was like 8 to 10 inches long, probably 6 or 7 inches deep. Good little chunk of wood, but nothing I can do anything with. So he was picking through and he said, oh man, that's awesome. I said, I can clean that up for you. It was just rough cut. I was like, I can clean that up for you if you want. So I put it on the joiner, explained to him, you want to start with one side, then you've got one flat side, then you'll reference on your fence to get your square. You've got 2 flat sides, go through the planer. Now you've got three square flat sides and a live edge. And we were loading all this stuff up, and he goes, I think this is my favorite piece. And he had some beautiful pre-finished maple live edge slabs. That's what we were cutting. And they had some beautiful curls, beautiful color. And he had that chunk out of my scrap pile. He's like, I'm almost more excited about this than I am the rest of it. It was just a feel-good thing.
Nice.
I would have been happy to get no dollars.
Yeah.
But on a Friday afternoon, I walked out with $200 extra in my pocket.
Attaboy.
And the point of the anecdote is don't be so quick to say no.
Yeah.
You know, kind of keep an open mind when people want, if anybody ever wants to use your shop or use your tools or something for something quick, go for it. You're going to meet a cool guy.
Yep.
You're going to meet somebody who's interested in the same things that you are, and you might get $200 out of it.
You might get $200.
And you know, $200 in this economy, it'll buy you one dinner with a couple drinks.
There you go. Well, nice. Well, all right then.
That's all I got.
All right. Well, I guess until next time, just start cutting wood.
There it is.